Hey, Sycamore View family, I am here with Joe Ward, one of my good friends, one of the 19 elders here at Sycamore View, and we want to take just a few moments to talk to you about phases, about what life may look like when we get back together, and just a little information about what in-person worship gatherings are going to look like as we move into the future.
All right. Yeah, we just really want to thank God for His ability to guide us through this process and the guidance and wisdom that He's given us. To appreciate the technology that we have in this time to be able to be a part of your homes, and Josh, for you and your group to work and deliver us lessons. You know, for us, phase one with social distancing and mask, it's just really hard to see how we can get together and do that well. I just really think that we love each other too much to be able to social distance in a mask.
That's exactly right. So if you're paying attention to anything going on in the world, there's phase one, phase two, and phase three, these reopening plans, and we did not feel as a leadership and our eldership that phase one was the right time for us to come back together for in-person worship experiences. So we're grateful for what we've been able to offer and how we're trying to keep people connected. I sent an email to the church last Saturday, and I had these 4 principles, and let me go through them quickly. Principle number 1 was this: we never closed. And we've done our best to stay away from language about how church was closed or church was canceled. We never canceled. We never closed. Church has gone on. It just looks different right now. So we never closed. And I think that's important for us to keep in our minds. Number 2 is this, and as you alluded to just a moment ago, for Sycamore View and most churches, we do not social distance well. This is not good for us. So it would have been great in phase one for us to have been able to come back together. The challenges are this. With the social distancing protocols, I don't think the kind of worship experience we could have offered is one that would have been beneficial or encouraging to any of us. Having to stay 6 to 10 feet from other people, having to wear masks. No one could come forward for prayer. We couldn't lay hands on people. Communion would have been so different. And then the thought of single people having to sit by themselves in this room, or widows and those that you can't wait to hug them because of loss in their life or something that you had to keep your distance. So we just didn't feel like it would be beneficial at all. So I guess it's almost a good thing. Like we don't social distance well, and at any point we come back together, there are going to be some protocols. But phase one, it wouldn't have been beneficial for us. Principle 3 was this: that we want to love God and we want to love our neighbors well. So when we made the decision to suspend in-person worship gatherings, this was part of it. Like, loving neighbors right now means that we stay away from people and we honor CDC protocols. So, and as we move forward, we do not want to move forward and make decisions based on paranoia, but we also don't want to move forward and be foolish to where those who are vulnerable in our church or in our community, that we put them at risk because of decisions we make. Now, when we do resume having in-person worship gatherings, our message to you is going to be this, and I'm going to say it fairly simply right now. When you are ready, we will be here for you. So our message isn't going to be, church is open again, come into the building, you've got to be here. It's not that. I know a lot of us are going to be moving at different paces. That when we open again, we're going to be here, and whenever you're ready, we'll be here to receive you.
Right, yeah, and I do think the technology that we've utilized will continue to stay. We'll continue to do live stream. We had a great class last night with Mark Powell, a class via Zoom with breakout sessions to be able to have smaller groups to have conversations. I can see that continuing on. But you know, to your point, I mean, it's so true for everyone just to know that when are we going to reopen? We're already open. You know, the will of God is continuing to go on at Sycamore View. The one thing that we're not doing is gathering together Sunday morning, but the church's activity is still here. Ministers are still working very hard, some working probably harder than you have in years. But all the ministers are working very hard. The shepherds, working with shepherding groups, contacting people. Life groups are getting involved with Zoom and some virtual technology. The one thing that has definitely not stopped is our desire to serve our members and to serve the community. The 901 Fund, thank you for everyone for supporting that. Thank you for supporting the regular contributions so that these activities can still go on. The Compassion Ministry is still reaching out to those who are in need, and we see that as being something that will be needed even more as we begin to go through reentry. For us, we're here, we're family, and we're excited when we all get together, but the work of the church is still going on.
Yeah, so we do anticipate at some point during phase 2 that we will begin providing in-person worship experiences for you. So stay in touch with us, because every week we're going to be offering up some communication pieces, letting you know what we're doing to prepare for you, what we're doing to prepare our facility to receive people, and just what some next steps are. Now, the fourth principle that I laid out in an email last Saturday was this. The fourth principle: we're going to move forward with a new vision. This was approved by our leaders pre-COVID, and we think this is a vision that can be a blessing to us while we're in COVID. So we're not going to wait until we get to the other side of this to lay out what the future vision of the Sycamore View Church is. On May 17th, I'm going to preach what will be a 5-week sermon series where we're going to lay out the new vision of our church and what we are going to be living into in the future. And we're going to call this a soft launch. So at some point down the road, we're going to come back and do a harder launch where there will be more initiatives and more events that will go with it. But right now, we're going to lay something out in front of you, and there are going to be a few initiatives for you to dive into as well. So please be praying toward that. On May 17th, we're going to start talking about the new vision of the Sycamore View Church.
Right. And this is something that the ministers and staff have gotten together and put together, as you said, long before we knew anything about this terrible disease that is out there. The thing that I like about the vision that you will be talking about on May the 17th is it really puts the church in the direction of the will of God. Mm-hmm. It's a direction that we need to continue to move down, and it clarifies and defines how we're going to serve our members and our communities, and helps us open our eyes to see those things around us that need His attention.
Yeah, that's right. So hey, be paying attention almost every week. Our plan is every week to provide you with a communication piece on just what some of these next steps are going to be. Pray for us. Pray that God will give us as leaders and us as a church wisdom and discernment as we navigate our way into the future. We love you. We care about you.